Africa does not have a resource problem. Africa does not have a talent problem. Africa does not have an intelligence problem. Africa has a standard problem. A problem of what we are willing to accept from ourselves, from each other, from the systems we build, and the work we produce, and the decisions we make when nobody is checking. Excellence is not a gift given to a few. It is a decision made by anyone willing to pay the price. And today, we talk about that price, all of it. 5 episodes, 5 awakenings. We found the mind, we unlocked the cage, we saw the children. We stripped the performance, we entered the marketplace. But there is one question that all 5 episodes were circling. The question that determines whether the awakened mind, the unlocked cage, the seen child, the authentic self, the gift in the marketplace, whether any of it actually changes anything. That question is, at what standard will you do the work? Because a gift brought to the marketplace at a mediocre standard is a gift the world will ignore. Excellence is not what happens after everything else. Excellence is the thing that makes everything else matter. Average is a slow poison. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive on a particular day with a particular decision. It seeps in, quietly, through 100 small surrenders. The moment you submit work you know is below what you can do, and tell yourself it is fine. The moment you stop at just good enough, when extraordinary was 30 more minutes away. The moment you choose the easier version of your gift, because the difficult version costs something today that you are not willing to pay. None of these moments feel significant. Each one, individually, is barely visible. But together, accumulated over weeks, over months, over years, they write a verdict. A verdict that is never spoken out loud, but felt by everyone who encounters your work. This person is no longer trying. Nobody plans to become average. Nobody wakes up on a Monday morning and decides, today I will begin my descent into mediocrity. It does not work that way. What happens is simpler and far more dangerous. You stop deciding. You stop making the daily choice to bring your best to the work in front of you. And in the absence of that decision, the default takes over. And the default for every human being on this earth is less. Less effort, less risk, less vulnerability, less exposure, less of yourself in the work. Because excellence is exposed. Excellence requires you to put your full self into something that could be judged, could be rejected, could fall short of what you intended. And average never fails, because average never fully tries.
Fine is not what we do here. When you put your name on something, your name goes on everything. The thing they see, and the thing they almost didn't notice. That is where your standard lives. In what you fix when nobody is watching.
Excellence has a price, and that price is not paid once. It is paid every single day before the audience arrives. It is paid in the hours nobody sees or applauds, in the version you threw away because it was not yet right, in the rest you delayed, in the comfort you declined, in the easier path you looked at and kept walking past. Excellence is not talent. Talented people who choose average produce average work. Excellence is not intelligence. Intelligent people who accept good enough produce good enough results. Excellence is a standard, a personal, private, non-negotiable standard that you apply to your work regardless of what is required, regardless of what others will notice, regardless of what you will be paid. Because the person of excellence understands one thing that the average person never grasps. Your standard is your signature, and your signature follows everything you make forever. The return to excellence is always triggered by seeing it, by encountering someone who refused to accept less, and watching what that refusal produced in their work. Something in the witness remembers their own standard. The one they had before convenience lowered it, before the shortcuts accumulated, before the applause stopped feeling necessary to do the work properly. Excellence is contagious. Not because it inspires comparison, but because it reawakens something that was never truly gone. The inner knowledge that you are capable of more than you have been producing. And that knowledge, once reawakened, is very hard to put back to sleep. The world has a perception of Africa. That perception is not entirely false. But here is the part that is rarely said out loud in an African room. We have, in many areas, given the world evidence for that perception. Not because we are less capable, not because our intelligence is inferior, but because somewhere in the space between our enormous talent and our delivered output, a standard was compromised, a corner was cut, a detail was skipped. A version was submitted that we knew was not our best, and we submitted it anyway. And the world watched and drew its conclusions. The most powerful response to every stereotype Africa carries is not an argument. It is not a debate. It is not a protest. It is a standard, raised, privately, before the audience arrives. In the work, in the detail, in the thing you fix when nobody is watching. That is how Africa changes a world's mind. One excellent piece of work at a time.
When was the last time you looked at something you made and felt, that is fully me? That is what I am actually capable of. Not, that will do. Not, they'll accept this. But this represents me completely. If you cannot remember, that is not a memory problem. That is a standard problem. And today, we fix it.
Excellence is not a performance. It is not something you switch on when the audience arrives and switch off when they leave. Real excellence, the kind that builds legacies, the kind that makes things that outlast their maker, is practiced in private. In the work, nobody commissions. In the preparation, nobody applauds. In the standard you hold yourself to. When the client has paid and gone home, and there is no earthly reason to do one more thing. Except one. Because this is who you are. Because your standard is not a strategy, it is a character. And character, unlike strategy, does not take days off, does not negotiate on slow days, does not accept a lower version of itself just because nobody is grading it. Character shows up the same way every time because it cannot do otherwise. This is the excellence Africa needs from its people, not the performance, the character. There is a feeling that excellence produces that average can never replicate. It is not applause. It is not a payment. It is not a comment or a view count. It is the feeling that arrives in the private moment, between finishing the work and showing it to anyone, when it is just you and what you made, and what you made is fully you. That feeling is the signature of a life being lived at its correct standard. And every person who has ever felt it, even once, knows instinctively that it is what they were made for. That comfort is not this. That average was never this. That the price of excellence was worth paying, because what it returns is not money. It is yourself, the full version, the one you were born to be. I am going to say something that requires you to be honest with yourself. Not performatively honest. Not the kind of honest you perform in comment sections. Genuinely, privately honest. The standard you are currently working at, is it actually your standard? Or is it the standard that your environment has normalized for you? Because there is a difference between your actual ceiling and the ceiling you have accepted. And most people, most talented, intelligent, capable African people watching this right now are working at the accepted ceiling. Want the actual one, and they know it. You know it. You know the moment in your last piece of work when you could have gone further and chose not to. You know the corner you cut. You know the draft you did not write. The practice you skipped. The detail you left imprecise. Not because you could not do it, because you decided Today, good enough was enough. I am asking you to make a different decision, starting with the next thing you make. Not a bigger decision, not a more dramatic one. Just one more standard, one more round of checking, one more attempt at the version you actually have inside you. One more refusal to submit something your own hands know is below what you can do. That is excellence, not genius, not talent. One more standard, every day, until it is no longer a decision you make, until it is simply who you are. Excellence is Africa's answer to everything the world says we cannot do. Not because it proves them wrong, but because it proves us right. Right about what we always knew we were capable of. Right about the standard we always had inside us, but were too afraid, too comfortable, too resigned to apply. This is the excellence mission, not a destination, a daily decision. Made in private, expressed in work, accumulated over a lifetime, until the work speaks for the continent that made it, and the world stops arguing and starts watching. Six episodes, 6 standards raised, and tonight, 1 action. Look at the last thing you made. Honestly look at it. Ask yourself, does this fully represent what I am capable of? If the answer is no, you now know what to do. If the answer is yes, raise the standard again tomorrow. That is the excellence mission, daily, private, non-negotiable. Episode 7 drops tomorrow. It is called The Borrowed Mirror. It will reveal how Africa has been seeing itself through eyes that were never its own. And what happens when a continent finally looks at itself for itself. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Share this episode with one person whose standard you want to challenge. Not to shame them, to remind them of what you both know they are capable of. See you tomorrow.